recognition night. I attended 44 of our athletic events this winter. I saw every sport and every level, and I was impressed with the athleticism of our students, the sportsmanship displayed, and the improvement in skills throughout this season. Our coaches certainly have a major role in that, and I want to take a moment to thank them. They put in a tremendous amount of time and effort with our athletes, and I want them to know that their dedication to the Northeastern Clinton athletic program does not go unnoticed. I'd like to thank Lisa Menard for typing the certificates and the program, and certainly a big thanks goes out to our custodial staff for all their help this winter. In this session, we will recognize the students who participated in volleyball, bowling, and hockey. With this group, there's been many successes this winter. The girls bowling team won the CVAC championship, the boys bowling team won the CVAC championship, and a CVAC sportsmanship award. There are 5 hockey players in the top 20 for scoring in the league, and the hockey team won 1 tournament and were Section 7 champions, the first time since 1993. But championships are not the only way to measure success. We are proud of all of our athletes' accomplishments, both individual and team, no matter how big or how small. In addition to their athletic talent, 78 of these players earned high honors in academics while participating this winter. On behalf of the coaching staff, I wish the best for our seniors who have played their last winter sport here at Northeastern. When I call the team down to the front, please hold your applause until the end of the player introductions. As the coach is commenting on individual and team accomplishments, I will ask that all members of the audience be quiet so they may be heard, and ask everyone to remain in the auditorium until all the teams for the first session have been recognized. Right now, I'd like to call down the modified volleyball team. Miranda Baker, Callie Blankenship, Danielle Filion, Christina Robert, Allie Sisson, Tia Brewer, Sadie DeCoste, Jessica Favreau, Ashley Goyette, Chelsea McGibbon, Victoria Strecker, Elizabeth Vincelette, Amanda Bordeaux, Colleen Ryan, Elena Sanchez, Manager Katrina Moser, Manager Nicole Marks, please welcome our modified volleyball team and coach.
First off, by saying a few thank yous. Special thank you to all the parents. Your support and encouragement is very important to all of us and always means a lot. Also, all your helping setting up at our games, very much appreciated. Thanks to Josie Gilroy also, who always does an outstanding job as our athletic director. She has a tremendous responsibility in scheduling and organizing every sport. Josie also always helps me to set up and coordinate all our home games, which is a perfect procedure. I want to thank both Mary Dupree, our JV coach, and Brent Baker, our varsity coach. They have both been a great help to me and our players in our tryouts and games. They selflessly give their time every year, and this year every Saturday to help us coach. I know the girls enjoyed playing for them, and they also learned a lot from them as well. And I also want to congratulate both Brent and Mary on a very successful season, as well as their teams. Finally, I'd like to thank my players and our 2 managers. They were very dedicated and enthusiastic. When you asked them to do something, they not only did it, but went well beyond. Now a little bit about the players. Sadie DeCoste was a returning player this year. She certainly worked hard and became an even stronger server and setter. She ended the season with an impressive 56 points, 20 aces, and 7 assists. Allie Sisson returned this year and became much more aggressive and confident and has really stepped up to the plate, especially in her hitting. Allie had a team high of 17 hits and earned this year's Most Improved Player award. One whose strive for excellence is unbeatable. Jess Favreau never lets anything get her down, and despite whatever happens, always has a smile on her face. Jess worked very hard to earn a spot on this year's team, and her persistence and dedication has certainly paid off. This was Christina Roberts' first year in volleyball. She was a little quiet and shy at first, but gradually built up her confidence. Christina put forth a great deal of effort. By the end of the season, she was making amazing passes and strong serves. Tia Brewer is someone who always puts 110% into whatever she does. She takes pride in learning new skills and performing them well. I know Tia will continue to do well in volleyball. Callie Blankenship is both powerful and strong. After seeing Callie serve and hit a few times, people quickly learned to back up. She certainly exudes a commanding presence on the court. Miranda Baker could always be counted on to deliver good serves when needed and was extremely flexible in having to go from a setter to a hitter in the spur of the moment. Miranda ended the season with an outstanding 91 points, 42 aces, 7 hits, and 5 assists, and has earned this year's Most Valuable Player award. Danielle Filion put her whole heart into volleyball. Danielle has such a bubbly attitude and is always trying to motivate everyone. She's extremely aggressive and goes after the ball at any cost. Danielle also proved herself as a strong and dependable server and hitter. Chelsea McGibbon returned this year as a much stronger player. Chelsea has such an endearing personality, it's hard not to smile when you see her. Chelsea was a big asset to us as a setter, having 9 assists. This was Amanda Bordeaux's first year, and she really came through for us. Amanda has a quiet determination, and she never gives up. Amanda worked very hard, especially on her serving, and she ended this year with a total of 61 points. This was definitely a good year for Tori Strucker. As a setter, she was a strong communicator and a motivator on the court. Tori always came up with good serves when needed and had a team high of 20 assists. Colleen Ryan really improved her game this year. She lacked confidence at first, but with continued practice, she became more aggressive, and as the season progressed, her serving and passing also became much more consistent. As a first-year player, Ashley Goyette showed no hesitation on the court and performed very well as a setter. She would do whatever possible to make the play, and is definitely someone with a bright future ahead of her. Elena Sanchez has an undeniable love for volleyball. She put every ounce of energy into each and every practice and game. She was a pleasure to coach, and she worked hard to improve her skills, and it showed both in her serving and setting, earning 12 assists. Liz Slent has worked very hard over the past 2 years and is determined to do well. Liz puts so much time and effort into everything she does. She has such a positive attitude and would be an asset to any team. As I mentioned earlier, we were very fortunate this year to have 2 wonderful managers. Nicole Marks and Katrina Moser were a tremendous asset to this team. They were the first ones in the gym and the last to leave. They could not do enough to help and were always one step ahead of me. I want them to know how much we all appreciated their help, and we have a little something for them. Congratulate this team on a very successful and rewarding season, and I want to thank you all again for your commitment and dedication to volleyball. Thank you.
We would like to thank Ms. Ducharme and our 2 wonderful managers, Nicole and Katrina, for a wonderful season. It was filled with fun and exciting moments, with the constant battle against the net and responding to killer hits. We really enjoyed serving for Ms. Ducharme, and without her, the season wouldn't have been so great. And we'd like to say happy birthday to Amanda.
We have the JV volleyball team. Okay, Aisha Loya. Ashley G. Bernardo. Tessa Rogers. Alyssa Rabideau. Catherine Beachy. Samantha Prue. Megan Chu. Michelle Yankee. Rachel Everlast. Sarah Snyder. Brooke Supernaut. Megan Langer. Manager Kelly Blankenship. And scorekeeper Adam LaFountain. Please welcome the JV volleyball team and coach Mary Lee.
First of all, I just want to say I'm probably more nervous tonight than I was all season, except for the night I had to make the cuts. For those of you that know me well, you know I'm pretty emotional. So I think at work, everybody had bets that I would not be able to make it through the cut night. I think they thought I'd cry as the girls were crying, that I would cry or something. But I made it through that, and we continued on with the season. I haven't been to one of these banquets in quite a while. If I remember correctly, we always started with a thank you. So I don't want to break tradition. As a rookie coach, I've done that enough this year. I'll get on with my thank you. My first thank you goes to the NCCS school board and Ms. Gilroy for giving me the opportunity to coach this fine group of girls. I'd also like to thank the bus drivers for all their patience during the season, waiting for the girls while they go in the bathroom and fix their hair and come back out. So I want to thank them for that. My family for their understanding and support. I really hate to admit it, but I think they can survive without me. That was a killer. I'd like to thank Mr. Banker for helping me throughout the season. I played volleyball in high school and college about 30 years ago. So I figured, I just need a quick refresher course. So when we first started talking about volleyball, I started talking about this libero player, 6'2" and 5'1", and the score goes to 25. And oh my God, are we talking the same game or what? I don't know if he knew it or not, but I had absolutely no idea what he was talking about. So I went home, spent about 2 hours on the internet, and looked up all the new terminology. I'd like to thank my employer, Wyatt, for allowing me to take time away from work, to make all the practices and the games, and Ms. Ducharme and Mr. Banker for covering me while I was on vacation. I'd also like to thank my scorekeeper / manager, Adam LaFountain, and my manager, Callie Blankenship, for all the help they gave me this year. Most of all, I'd like to thank the parents for the fine job you did in bringing up these girls. Just going to take a deep breath here. I was very impressed with the maturity and respect that each and every one of these girls upheld throughout the season. I feel that these girls are not only keen athletes, but they've developed a balance between the various elements in their lives, such as schoolwork. I know a lot of them play more than volleyball. Their hobbies, some of them are in the drama club, some of them are artists, some of them are singers, and their friends and family. They're a bunch of well-rounded individuals. So we'll get on with the season. I think we had a very successful season. It wasn't the winningest season. I think the girls would have liked to have won a little bit more. We finished 5-11. We did have a lot of adjusting to do. I was a new coach to them. I think Mr. Banker had them scared to death because he kept referring to me as a mystery coach before the season started. So they had to adjust to me, I had to adjust to coaching and relearning the game. I'll start with our most memorable game. I think that was the first time we had to play the 6-2 formation. That was in our game against Osable Valley, and luckily it was an away game and Calvin wasn't there to take it. We did win. We actually won that game, but I think it was because we had those refs so confused that they didn't know who was supposed to be where or who was doing what, or the whole thing. We ended up winning. I was as confused as the girls were. I think Mr. Banker might have had an idea of what was going on, but I'm not really sure that he did. So from then on, we continued to play the 6-2 rotations. The killer was, if I ever lost my cheat sheets, I went into a panic. I just would start sweating, and I'd be frantically looking through the bag for, where are my lineup sheets? I can't find them. We finally got it down, though, and the girls did an excellent job with that. Hopefully that brings them into, when they move up to varsity, it'll be a very smooth transition. My most memorable coach's moment, probably in about the third game, I think. And I'm sitting on the bench and waiting for the game to start, and looking around like, well, why aren't they starting? Well, the ref is standing up on the ladder, and she's waving this yellow card. And she's looking at me, and I'm just kind of looking around. All of a sudden, she's pointing at me, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Apparently, I went overtime a little bit on our timeout, and so she gave me a yellow card, and I was frantic. I expected that Miss Gilroy would call me the next day and say, you need to come in, turn the keys in, turn in your coach's manual, you're done. But, Mr. Banker pretty much guaranteed that wouldn't happen. Our most distracting practice was the night we shared the gym with the JV basketball boys team. I'm not going to mention any names, but the girls are down there stretching, and they're on the floor, doing their leg stretches. And all of a sudden I'm looking at it. Some of them are really stretched out, and they're looking under the curtains at the boys on the other side of the gym. And I was like, girls, come on. The balls went over on the other side of the gym more than they ever did that night. When we practiced with the varsity girls, the balls never went on that side of the gym. I'm surprised none of them got hurt when they were stretching that night, because they were really going out of their way. I'd like to go into the play, just a few words about the players. I didn't do their stats. We always had trouble with stats. I would forget to do them, and none of them wanted to do them. So I'm just going to, a couple words that describe each player. Aisha Loya, she was my quiet thinker. I could always look at Aisha, and she was very quiet, but I always knew she was thinking about something. Ashley DiBernardo, she was very determined. She would get very frustrated with herself, determined to make the next play a better play. Tessa Rogers, she was my morale booster, my cheerleader. She always got everybody going. Alyssa Rabideau, she was my little energizer bunny, always on the go. Catherine Dici, she was my balance. She was a very balanced individual. Samantha Prue, boys, I guess, describes Sam. Sam was a very hardworking individual. Probably one of the harder workers on the team. Megan Chu, Megan was just very content, always at the same level, never mad, never really excited, just very content. Michelle Yakey, all I can say is she just had to go for it. If the ball was up there, Michelle was diving for it. She probably had more bruises than anybody put together. Rachel Everlett, Rachel was very focused. You could tell Rachel always had her mind on everything, just very focused on the game. Sarah Slater, she was my outgoing individual. Very outgoing, very upbeat. Brooke Supernov, Brooke never gave up. She's what? Brooke is not a quitter. I made Brooke stay out there a lot of times when she really didn't want to be out there, but she never gave up. Megan Langer, probably hardest on herself. That's how I would describe Midget Langer. Okay, I guess at this time I'd like to present my MVP and MIP award. The girls voted on these themselves. I had everybody fill out a form. So the MVP is Michelle Yagi. Like I said before, she gave her heart and soul to the game. I think she hit the floor more than the rest of the team combined. And she was one of my captains. I'd like to thank her for her leadership and many contributions to the team this year. My most improved player was Catherine Dici. Catherine started out the year, she was, she knew all the basic skills and stuff. She just continued to excel throughout the entire season. I guess when she first came onto the team, I could probably describe her as a little cold, a little full, because she was all arms and legs. And I said, boy, if you can get that to click, she's going to be a very good player by the end of the year. And she came through and put it all together. So I guess at this time, the captains would like to come up and say a few words. I'd like to thank the girls for a good season. And it was really an honor for me to coach you this year. Yes, Michelle, you have to come up.
Okay, good evening. Okay, I just want to start out by thanking Coach Cooper for all her support and coming on coaching us, because it was hard for the girls to coach and everything. And also I want to thank Calvin for taking in all our games. And I want to thank our parents for all their support.
We had a pretty tough rotation in the beginning, but we stuck it through and we figured it out. And if we have to say one funny thing about our group, it's going to be something really long, because we had a lot of really funny rides home, and I'd have to say the best server entertainment-wise was Megan Lane, because she could kind of grunt. Tessa, deodorant, and fuzzy sweaters, don't miss. Sam, you might need to get a book to help you remember some more important things. So, Megan, your fruit roll-up grill was that was impressive. So, we just want to thank Mr. Banker and Coach Dupree and everyone for being there and helping us, because we're not an easy group.
Varsity volleyball team comes out like these.
It's okay, Tessa.
So sorry about you. It's really neat.
Ashley Gay. Jesse Jeanette. Jenna Burley. Vanessa Di Natale. Amanda Goodfellow. Sarah Kelly. Caitlin Langer. Desiree Royal. Carissa Manette. Christiana Passano. Alexis Rye. Manager scorekeeper Aaron Batchelder. And manager and scorekeeper Adam LaFountain. Please welcome the varsity volleyball team and coach Megan.
I'd like to thank all the people that help make our sports programs possible here at NCCS. This involves a long list of people that devote time and effort in maintaining the high standards associated with our athletic program. So thanks to Mr. Healer, the school superintendent, and school board members, teachers, custodians, bus drivers, and the many others for helping provide everlasting memories for our student athletes. Thanks to the parents for providing capable fan support. This was a special group this year. Their cheering was so great at away games that our opponents' courts became our home away from home. To Mr. Castine for providing the game videos to the team. These videos are helpful teaching tools. We learn important information about ourselves as well as our opponents. Over the last few years, I've noticed Northeastern Clinton has had many teams in different sports make appearances in championship games. We can say it's the athletes and the coaches, but it all starts at the top with our athletic director, Coach Gilroy. She's the driving force that keeps our sports programs up and running, and I thank her for that. A few years back, Kim Ducharme and I started the modified program. Tina works hard to prepare the modified players for the next level. I give her a lot of credit for the success I've had at the varsity level. Thanks for the great job, Coach. Mary Cooper did a fantastic job coaching the JV players this year. We worked hard to put a more consistent playing style throughout the JV and varsity program. Our junior varsity players will find it easier to adjust to varsity level of play thanks to Mary's coaching. And by the way, Mary, it's a red card you want to worry about, not the yellow one. I'd like to thank Aaron Batchelder and Adam LaFountain for all the different jobs they did from scorekeeping to manager and all the little things in between. Without them, our season doesn't happen. Thanks to Aaron and Adam for the jobs well done. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife, Lori, for being what she refers to as a volleyball wife. But when game time rolls around, I know she's one of our biggest fans. Either you have it or you don't have it, is what comes to mind when I reflect on our season. I couldn't help but think of the old Indiana Jones movies. You know, the movies where Harrison Ford plays that adventurous archaeologist, always finding old treasures, only to have his arch nemesis steal them away at the last moment. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, it never says, Dr. Jones. Again, we'll see there is nothing you can possess which I cannot take away. There were times this season when I thought we had it, and there were times when we lost it. The air I referred to is playing volleyball at a champion's level. Like Indiana Jones, right when I thought our treasures was in grasp, there was always someone taking it away from us. During the first half of the season, we didn't have it. The younger players were learning the system. The second half of the season, it looked like we were getting it after taking #1 Saranac to 4 games and winning the Silver Division in the Beacontown tournament. Then we played NAC. We certainly didn't have it. They killed us. Next came the Montreal tournament, the day after playing NAC. We shouldn't have had it, but we made the playoff round and lost a tough match to, guess who, NAC. In the last game of the year, we played Beacontown on their senior night. We won the first 2 games. I thought we had it. Then we lost the next 3 and the match to the Eagles. We didn't have it. Next came our playoff game with Saranac Lake, a back and forth affair. Well, I wasn't sure if we had it or not. But I can say that the girls played with the heart of a champion that night. Losing 23-21 in the 5th game looked all but over, and they fought back to win 29-27. Our last game we lost to Plattsburgh due to circumstances beyond our control. I once heard that champions must play well consistently at a high level. As the girls started playing better as the season progressed, I told them it wasn't by accident. It was because they were playing better on a consistent basis. I believe with what we have coming back next year, and with the younger athletes in our program, We will soon be in possession of our treasure we failed to grasp onto in almost 30 years. And once we have it, I see us holding on to it for a while. With hard work and off-season, and a desire to succeed, and confidence, we could be a dominating volleyball team for the years to come. Now I'd like to introduce my players to you. You asked me why all the optimism about the future. It starts with freshman middle blockers Christiana Pastel and Alexis Ross. The coaches around the league only know them as number 5 and number 9, but the point is they know them. These two have the potential to be one of the best tandems at the middle blockers position that we've had here at NCCS. Christiana was just starting to play at the next level when she hurt her shoulder and is out missing a good part of the second half of the season. She assures me she'll be ready to go next season. Alexis played just about every play this season. We haven't had a freshman put up her kind of stats since MVP middle blocker Zan Gerson. Because of her outstanding play, her teammates voted her the team's most improved player. If someone would have told me last year that Caitlin Langer was going to make an instant contribution to this year's team, I wouldn't have believed them. But what really has impressed me about Caitlin is not only how focused a player she is, she gives the team something it has lacked in the past, the enthusiasm for the game. She loves to celebrate and have fun out on the court, and every team needs a player like that. Carissa Manette was a player that worked hard to find herself this season. I think she's improved tremendously in all of her skill areas, but her biggest improvement was being a role player. She took her playing time and made the most of it. If it was a strong hit off the left side by an opposite hitter, that's volleyball jargon by the way, or a clutch service, she has gradually gained my confidence. Next season will be in the hands of our next two players literally and figuratively. Both Amanda Goodfellow and Vanessa Dinatelli play the setter's position. We will have a high-powered offense next year with a lot of hitters. With confidence and more experience, both these players will have the capability to lead our attack. As a coach, I see a lot of potential in this next player. Jenna Burley has shown signs of good volleyball skills. Now she works hard during the off-season and becomes consistent at executing her skills in game situations. She could be one of the league's best secrets next year. In our loss to Beekmantown at the end of the year, Sarah Kelly was set 47 times. That's a busy night at the office. As the season progressed, I could see Sarah's confidence level go way up. This is the confidence that we need to take that next step to becoming a champion. That is why I will ask Sarah to be a team captain next year. In order to move forward, one must be willing to take chances to seize the moment to go for broke. Desiree Loya is this type of player. She practices and plays with focus and intent. So when the time comes and she's playing on the edge, her gambles aren't reckless ones, but ones made with the desire to succeed. This is why she will be a team captain next year, and also why her team has voted her co-most valuable player of the year. Congratulations, Sarah. I started with two promising freshmen, and I will close with our two seniors. Ashley Gay and Jesse Jeanette have been playing varsity volleyball for 3 years, and I can't thank them enough for all they've done for the program. Ashley has always been the ultimate role player, taking on any challenges assigned to her. The picture in the press last year after the championship game was truly what Ashley was all about, sticking her hands in the face of a girl 6 or 7 inches taller than she was. Ashley was a CVAC All-Star Honorable Mention this season. Jessie, too, was always proving that small girls can play this game. Jess was always pushing to succeed, and it paid off for her. She leads NCCS as 3rd on the all-time assist leader list. She was voted to the CVAC All-Star team, and her teammates voted her co-most valuable player. Congratulations. very best in the future, and I hope to see them on the court next year. And I want to thank all the girls for a great season, and I'm looking forward to next year.
First, I'd like to say this is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. Jesse and I just wanted to say thank you to our coach for all the great years, and also to the girls and our managers for an interesting and fun last season. Thanks to all of our parents and fans for supporting us, and a special thank you to Ms. Guerra, Coaches Webb, and Mrs. Banker. Also to Cougar for taking all of our games. Thank you.
We have the girls and boys bowling teams now, please. Kelsey Diesel. Kayla Nikos. Allison Grovine. Kelly Noggle. Darren Sorrell. Danielle Tierney. Sarah Winters. Stephanie Bayshard. Jackie Fales. Megan Friend. Manager Robert Bossop. Nick Nikos. Mike Noggle. Nick Paquette. Dylan Roberts. Ryan Saunders. Kyle Chambers. Derek Norton. Turner Cecina. Corey Slater. Adam Bayshard. Caleb Hampton. Cody Hampton. Chris Kraft. Jeremy Misek. Daniel Ormsby. Jonathan DeBolder. Please welcome the girls and boys bowling team and Coach Kathy Young.
Good evening and welcome. Parents, athletics, our athletes, students, Ms. Gilroy, faculty, and Calvin for taking every home game. Thank you. Well, to start off, I want to say that I am very proud of my teams by taking both CBAC titles in the same year. The hard work and understanding of how the game works shows me that they truly do listen to me and how I coach them this year. And again, thank you for making my dream come true. We have had some ups and downs in matches, but by everyone sticking together this year and cheering each other on was one of the key factors in their success, besides giving them candy to get them all wound up, besides me. I even had parents comment on other teams that I was too hyper. But hey, you have to grab into your hat, pull out whatever it will take to win games like we did, and to get them into the matches. I know the sectionals, we had a hard time, strikes didn't come our way, but picking up spares, it totally amazed me, and the comment I made was, I can't believe what I am seeing. They actually learned from the Scotch doubles that we did all season long. I will truly miss my seniors, Mike Nogel, Josh Friends, Nick Paquette, Nick DeCoste, Dylan Roberts, Ryan Saunders, and Joe Hagg. I have had some run-ins with them, but nothing I couldn't handle by just giving them a hug and telling them that it is okay and you will accomplish your goals in life. Or someone saying, Coach, I can't make a spare, and I telling them, don't get down on yourselves, and if you may practice once in a while, that does help too, laughing out loud. To the young group that is coming up and have been on the extras team, don't give up hope. You will be there by practicing real hard, bowling every chance that you get, and not waiting for the school year to start bowling. I have always said, and will say again, practice makes perfect, if not perfect, a chance to be there with the rest of the team. My goal this year as a coach was to take both titles in the same year. Bowlers, we did it. And I am so proud of each and every one of you. Coaching from last year, I have seen a big improvement, not only by bowling, but by how each and every one stuck together for a successful year. Unfortunately, what I have to say next isn't what any of them want to hear. I am not coming back next year only because I plan on moving south. But always keep in mind that I will be thinking of you and calling to see how you are doing. And please stay focused for the next season and for your new coach. Make him or her proud of you like you did me. Let's keep the tradition going by being CVAC champs for the next years to come. Thank you, and I will dearly miss each and every one of you. Now, for the most improved this year for the boys, he has been a big asset to the boys team and has always given his team 100% plus in both bowling and keeping his teams in the game. And this goes to Nick DeCoste. For the girls, she has improved her average by 15 pins since the beginning of the year. She has been a go-getter since the start of the season. And coming from Shazy, we are blessed to have you at NCCS, Sarah Winters. Most valuable player for the boys, whom has shown to me his enthusiasm to work hard and to continue growing in the sport of bowling. And I was very proud that he tried to give his 100% also. Goes to Cody Hampton. And most valuable for the girls, I can honestly say that she has a gift on going on in the career and following her brother's footsteps, who also bowls for a college, I don't know which one, but I know she has a lot of encouragement. She helps keep the girls and the boys teams going. And this goes to Danielle Tierney. Both Danielle and Cody You deserve the best in this sport and continue going after what you set out to, and that is the sport of bowling. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a few things to say, but I'll keep it really quick here. I'm really proud of our whole team, of both our teams this year. Everyone got a lot better as the year went on, and we ended up having a great year. I'd like to thank Calvin for filming everything for us. We really appreciate it. I'd like to thank John Roberts and everyone at the Bowl Mart for allowing us to use the Bowl Mart and all their support and help throughout the year. I'd like to thank Ms. Gilroy for scheduling everything for us and making sure we had everything ready. I'd like to thank our parents for their support and their commitment to keeping us there and on time, all the time. But most importantly, I'd like to thank our coach, Kathy Young. She's been a great coach. She was always there to make sure we did our best and make sure we always got better. I'd like to say that she made bowling great fun for us. She was never extremely hard on us. She just made it interesting to bowl. Special gift for you, Kathy, later. Thank you very much, and we'll miss you later.
Nick, would you stay here, Nick? In each sports season, the CBAC All-Academic Award is presented to 2 senior athletes in recognition of their success in academics as well as achievement in their sport. For the winter of 2005-06 season, this award goes to Nick DeCoste from the bowling team. Congratulations. The senior female will receive her award in the next session, and at some point in time, their picture and accomplishments will go in the paper. I don't know if anyone saw it last week, but the fall one went in last week, so it could be 4 months down the road now. Can we please have the boys' hockey team up here, please?
Yeah, this baby back here.
John Juno, Justin Marks, Cody Roberts, Mike Southwick, David Warren, Nate Young, Matt Goodrow, Jeff Horn, can someone shut the doors in the back, please? Ian Lapierre, Nate McCallum, Chris Mattock, Tyler Oliver, Sam Parker, Justin Spring, Matt Welch, Josh Bayshard, Jeremy Jeanette, Max Milhot, Bobby Keeper, Andrew Southwick, Connor Hurdick, and Nicole LeBlanc, manager scorekeeper timer. Jordan Mark, special recognition goes to 9 members of this hockey team who achieved the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Scholar Athlete Team Award. To receive this award, the student must be an eligible varsity competitor whose grade point average is used to determine the team composite average of 90% or better, and additional students that also have a 90% or better average. The team members of the team earning this award are, and please step forwards, David Warner, Nate Young, Matt Goodrow, Jeff Horn, Chris Matot, Justin Spring, Jordan Mark, Andrew Southwick, Connor Hurdick. Congratulations. Please welcome the hockey team and coaches Rob Francis and Amy White.
Everybody comfy? Cody, I'll have you home for the third period, don't worry about it. I'll stay with the tradition and start with my thank yous first. Of course, Mrs. Gilroy, for everything that she does throughout the year, a million different things, trying to keep all the coaches in line. She's got 2 of us to worry about, so double trouble, I imagine. But thanks for everything. To Donna Parker, this year really, was kind of my in-between person with the boys. When I used to get word at school, she took the lead on the jacket order, collected the money, did a nice job with that, went and got the jackets, handed them out, so I really appreciate that. To Donna Bayshard for kind of spearheading the candle drive, and also for putting things together for our dinner the night before the regionals, which was really nice. I really appreciate that as well. Dave Bayshard for keeping track of shots for me this year. Did a nice job. Usually I trust Dave's shots more than the opposing team's guys that were doing it. To Dor Southwick and Doc Southwick, who this year seem to be more than ever involved in trying to keep the boys healthy and getting them back on the ice as quick as possible. Really this year I noticed it a lot more for whatever reason, but they do an excellent job and we're lucky to have them. I had all, but I might have to change that, of the parents for their time and dedication to this team and program. Some of them, no names mentioned sitting in front of me, but think it's funny to have their kids show up 5 or 10 minutes before the sectional game in a leg brace and crutches, just to make me have a semi-small heart attack. But really, I think maybe one time this year, Lee and I had to take the bus home from a game. The rest of the times, the parents were all there, and it wasn't unusual to go down to Lake City Arena and to have more fan support there for our team than the team we were playing against, and that just goes to, it says a lot for our parents and the program. And actually, I did have his name down here now that I'm glad I did since I saw him walk in late, but Sean Parker for his excellent work in the score booth, working with Nicole and taking care of the sound during the games. Gave him a little extra duty this year by forgetting to put the numbers down a few times on the score sheet, making Nicole have to work a little harder to fill those numbers in for me. So I really appreciate that. And certainly to Nicole, our manager, who's taken countless hours of teasing from the boys, from the coaches, from Sean. She's going to be hard, if almost impossible to replace, and she will certainly be missed. And we have a small gift for you, Nicole. Also, to Lee, we've been together 6 years now. When we started, it was rough, real rough, but he stuck it out, and I certainly appreciate all the dedication he has to the program, to the team. Without him covering for me a lot of nights, if I have to work late and stuff, we certainly couldn't do it. So I really thank him. I'm glad to have him. Lastly, to my wife Bonnie and my daughter, for understanding that there's a lot of time and commitment involved in coaching, and really, becoming one of our biggest fans. I know a lot of times she feels like she has 22 boys, you know, because she has to listen to endless hours of drills and what we did right, what we did wrong. I gotta say, sometimes she's awful critical, which tends to set things off in her house a little bit, but I think she's learned by now. You know, if I had to pick a word, I guess, to sum up this season, it'd be expectation. You know, and it was really different this year, coming into camp, into preseason, because for once, Northeastern was one of the favorites to win the sectionals. And if any of you followed Northeastern hockey, that hasn't happened in a long time. You know, last year we kind of took a lot of people by surprise. Certainly not our parents and the coaching staff, but you know, had a real good year. So coming into camp this year, things were different. You know, we weren't, you know, when I go to the preseason coaches meeting, we weren't picked to finish last, you know, or finish fifth. You know, everybody was kind of looking at us like, hey, what are these guys going to be able to do this year? And I think it added a little bit of cockiness to our guys, you know, and the thing about expectation is you got to be able to deliver. And also puts a huge bullseye in your back every time you step on the ice, because everybody wants to try to knock you off and prove that they're better than you. So it was a lot different this year. And I can tell you, it's a lot easier to coach when no one expects you to win than it is when everybody expects you to win. That really increases the stress level tenfold. I think early on, our cocky little swagger may have found us in a little bit of trouble. After the first 10 days of the season, we were 1-3, making mistakes, taking untimely, undisciplined penalties, not shooting the puck when we needed to. A lot of little things that don't always seem like, you know, they amount to much, but when you combine them all, they're certainly not conducive to winning hockey games. So we had to have a talk, and we really broke down where we were having problems. And, you know, we straightened things out, put together 6 straight wins, won the Lake Placid tournament, outscored our opponents in that time 35-1, which is real impressive. Came back, lost a tough game to Malone, who was ranked in the state all year long, one of the top teams in Section 10, 1-0 in overtime. Tyler Oliver, you know, played outstanding. You know, it was a tough loss, but got back on the winning track by beating Norfolk, who was at the time ranked 6th in the state. Beat them 6-1. Probably, you know, aside from the Malone game, which we lost, probably one of the best games I've seen one of our teams play in a long time. Just dominated from the total drop of the puck. That was the first round of the Saranac tournament. The next night, turned around, did not play well, and Saranac basically outplayed us from the drop of the puck and beat us 4-1. And you know, it was 4-1 early on, and things weren't looking good. And you know, we were taking some penalties we shouldn't have been taking, and you know, we needed to refocus. And I said, you know what? Even if we lose this game, let's not lose our composure, and let's just play hard to the end and see what happened. I think that game, you know, may have been one of the turning points for us. You know, you can take what you want from wins, but sometimes it's easier to take things from losses. You know, we talked out there at our next practice, you know, about what our goal was. You know, and I asked them flat out, what is our goal? Because I think we knew it in the back of our minds what our goal was, but we never really talked about it. And of course, you know, they mumbled a few things, and I said, well, no, seriously, what is our goal? And they said to win the sectionals. And I said, really, is that our goal? Because we're not playing well enough consistently to reach our goal then, if that's the case. You know, out of that meeting, some changes that would prove to make a difference came about. You know, we knew we could score goals. At one time, we had 9 guys in the top 20 in scoring in the league, which is amazing, you know. But on any given night, and a few of them were defensemen, so on any given night, you know, any of the 9 forwards or 6 defensemen could have stepped up and scored 2 or 3 goals. So, you know, we knew we could do that. And as a coach, sometimes you make changes, you know, based on ability. Sometimes you make changes based on a gut feeling, and sometimes you make them on chemistry of players. So that's what we did. And what came out of those changes were the creation of 3 lines that were even more effective and more dangerous than before. I mean, when I was writing this, I was thinking about the lines. I look at Nate Young, Justin Marks, and Dave Werner, and you can't ask for 3 guys that are going to go out there and play hard and play hurt if they have to, and just flat out hustle each and every time they step on the ice. You know, and to see the way, you know, adding Cody Roberts to the line of Josh Bayshard and Jordan Marks, you know, a senior with 2 sophomores, seemed to bring up the confidence level on that line. Josh really stepped it up this year, scored some big goals. Certainly be even better next year. Jordan turned his game up this year, scored some goals for us, scored a big goal in the championship game of the Lake Placid tournament, and was named to the all-tournament team. And of course, Cody. If you've ever seen Cody in his style of play, he'll skate through the boards if you tell him to. Sometimes his emotions get to him a little bit, but you couldn't ask, you can't ask him to do enough as a coach. And the third combination would prove to be probably, in my opinion, and I'm sure I'm not alone, one of the fastest and best skating lines in the league. The way that Chris Matat and JJ, Jeanette, and Max clicked was amazing. When they were moving their feet, there wasn't anyone that could stay with them. And they always seemed to find each other on the ice and know where each other was. And it really, at times, was all I could do. And Lee would just stand back and shake your head. It was really fun to watch. And to compliment those guys, another kid that really stepped it up this year, certainly going to see a considerable amount of playing time next year is Nate McCallum. Took his role real well. Guys went down with injuries. He stepped in, did a real nice job for us. Him, along with Ian Lapeer, Jeff Morty, Andrew Southwick, those guys ready to step in if called upon. It really made us the deepest team in the league. We moved Mike Southwick back to defense, and the kid's huge. We tried to tighten up an already solid defensive core. Pairing him with his size, his shot, and the way he sees the ice, with Justin Spring, who's skating, stick handling, and understanding of the game was second to nobody in the league, and it certainly paid off. The steady, solid, smart play of Sam Parker all the time, and the really much improved play of Matt Goodrow, along with John Juno's physical play. We really were a pretty solid, foundation. We were fortunate to add a couple new blue liners this year, Connor Hurdick and Bobby Pieper. Connor stood out to me right away in camp. Real smooth skating ability, heads up play. He's a freshman. There was some games where he showed some nerves, but I'm really excited about the future for him. Looking forward to watching him play. And Bobby, if only his size would match the amount of heart that he plays with, we'd be all set. Because you can't ask for someone that's going to go out there and play harder and smarter for you. I'm hoping he grows about 6 or 7 inches this summer. Hey, it happens. Happened to me. And in my mind, 2 of the best goalies in the league. They combined for a 1.56 goals against average with 8 shutouts. Tyler really came out strong and worked hard this year, and certainly showed that he was second string by no means, and made for a lot of competition in that position. Matt, another solid year, probably in his mind, at times, not the type of season he had hoped for, but he's had a terrific career at Northeastern, and real solid. So, the final numbers were impressive. We finished 16-7, 9-2 overall in the league, number 1 ranked going into the playoffs. We scored 98 goals, gave up 42, and for that, they get to say that they're Section 7 champs, which hasn't happened for a long time. Most improved player, it's hard to pick these. It's real hard to pick these awards, especially when you have such an evenly balanced team. We had so many players that improved this year. The player that we chose was kind of a fill-in last year on defense. He saw some ice in certain situations, but not really regularly. This year, he came into camp, and we knew he was going to be a guy that would see a regular shift each game. He played smart and hard, and this year's most improved player is Matt Goodrow. Most valuable player, again, as hard as the most improved player was to pick this year, this one was, doubly hard. Because we didn't really have a player that could score at will, or that if other teams shut down, we'd be done. So, anytime you have this type of situation, you need to look at other attributes of their game. And you get to see a lot of them through the course of the year. As would have it, he did lead the team in scoring by a small margin, but really in my mind, the deal for him was, it happened during the sectional championship game. And it was between periods. I think it was the second period, and one of his line mates was kind of down on himself for not skating as well as he had hoped. This player basically went over to him and said, hey, don't worry about it, shake it out. We got one more period, just let it go. To me that shows a lot of character. This year's MVP, Chris Matat. You know, it was a great year. The fan support was terrific. You know, it'd be nice to see the sectional championship banner hanging here again. To the seniors, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you get a chance to come back down to the rink. Take a look at the banner that you guys helped put there. I appreciate, you know, 4 years of hard work and dedication to the program. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't always been fun, but you guys have worked hard and you know, got the sectional championship out of it, so thank you.
Good evening. As you heard, our season turned out to be a fine one. I am proud to say I'm part of this Northeastern hockey team that wins sectionals in what I believe is 14 years. That's what we set out to do, and that's what we did. There are so many things that contributed to our success that it's hard to recognize them all. But mainly it was support we had from our parents and fans that attended most all of our games. You cannot look past the coaching though. Both coaches did a fine job in leading us through our tough times during the year, which every team will have. Fortunately, all our tough time came from the beginning of the season. Therefore, we had time to regroup and get things back on track, like when we won the Lake Placid tournament without getting scored on, and beating Northwood, which was a very strong team that hadn't lost to a high school team. We also would have been very thirsty sometimes if it wasn't for our dedicated manager, Nicole Vaughn. She has been with the team for as long as I have, and as far as I know, she enjoyed being our manager and helping the team. She also learned a good lesson this year. Knock on the door before you enter. We all acknowledge that our success this year came in part to the support of our parents, coaches, and manager, Nicole Vaughn, and we thank you for that.
That concludes our first session. Thank you all for coming.
Instead of one.
Reading lessons.
Oh, we win session. Hey, Calvin, how long before you have a copy ready? A couple weeks? I don't know. Tomorrow. Okay, I'll give you a call. Thanks, sir. Yeah, 8 hours.